Good morning and welcome to all of you in this special common session that we have scheduled today. Actually, this session was scheduled for the valedictory session for English group, but as we discussed earlier and decided to make it a common session for both the groups. And as you know, tomorrow at 10 a.m., the common valedictory session will be organized. And so, in this session, we are going to discuss on few very interesting topics like how we can use our mobile device and other digital platforms to do the experiment and take the data properly in our home, and as well as how can we use this platform, digital platforms, to conduct some tests or other, or how we can use these platforms to organize the classroom properly. So in this way, the session will go on, and mostly the session will be conducted by Mr. Sanjay Kumar Pal and Soumen Sarkar. uh, Both of them are our level one um, mentor. Both of them are working as our level one mentor. So all the things that we are going to share has been developed and shared by them with us. So in a session in a Bengali groups, so all of us get excited, and most of them propose that it will be better if we can organize another session, and from that, in this way, uh, we started to think on it, and we have proposed to all of you in all groups, and everybody, um, and after discussion, we come to this decision that we are going to organize a common session to perform all these activities. So today, this session is that particular session, and right now I will welcome Mr. Mr. Sanjay and Somen to organize, to take the charge of this session. So, Sanjada and Somenda, please, will you come forward and take the charge of the session, please?
Very good morning, Ms. Homen Sarkar and Sanjay Kumar Pal, my friend. We are today discussing about science, smartphone with science. Uh, First of all, taking permission from TLC team and our mentor, Sir, Subhash Sir, and everyone. Uh, and this session, first we like to say that uh, science with smartphone with science is learned from HBCSC TIFR, and at that time we think that it should be exposed more. Nowadays, it has been seen that. Okay, tell me. Okay.
मैं संजय कुमार पाल. I'd like to thank everyone. At first, Somen introduced the total thing. At first, I like to know all of you that I like to thank a special thanks to Mr. Dr. Praveen Pathak, who is the Assistant Professor of Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, TIFR, Mumbai. I and Somen and also Biresh Layak trained about this at Homi Bhabha Center, physically attend the camp. The Homi Bhabha Center, all you know that Homi Bhabha Center is the selecting authority of Indian National Olympiad team of physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and astrophysics. They also train teachers to motivate the students how Olympiad does and other things. So one more thing, that our honorable mentor, Dr. Subhash Chandra Samanto, was represented our Indian National Physics Olympiad team in 2015, which was held at TIFR Homi Bhabha Center. It's a great achievement that we get share with us, and we have also inspired from Subhash Babu that we will go to the Homi Center and learn about more how science, how they do the Olympiad team, and how scientific experiment work, scientific experiment does there. They have also designed some hands-on experiment on low cost, and one of the session of this science with smartphone, actually the session was physics with smartphone, and I and Somen decide that change the topic with science with smartphone. That's why we decided that we can share our ideas with TLC team and other participant members, that how can they use our mobile device with for the experiment. That's why nowadays mobile phone is available for everyone. Every teacher should must have mobile phone, so they can use mobile phone as a smart device. So that's why our laboratory have no sufficient sufficient instrument. You can use our mobile, that sophisticated instrument like um, some other things. Now, Somen Sarkar, you introduce the total things, then I go through.
Okay, Sanjay, share the screen.
So that
Hello, sir.
yes,
Koyal Kumar.
Okay.
yes, Mr. Kumar.
Can I start? Sir,
Sound is coming
So
from others'
so
microphone.
who is calling? Please.
can I
Okay.
start, sir?
Hello.
Just a minute. I thought someone is calling. Okay, no, that's fine. So you can start. So what Mr. Pal said, that we always we have the problem that we don't have proper laboratory in our schools, or we may not we don't have that access all time. So that's why we can use this smartphone to organize the laboratory work more very efficiently, and they are going to show that the smartphones can function very much similar to those sophisticated devices that we use in the laboratory to take the data. So right now we will be with Mr. Pal and Sharkar, and they're going to demonstrate how these things works. So let's start. Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Pal.
Okay.
Somen.
Different kinds of inbuilt sensor in our mobile phone that can be provide us a smart approach to the practical work in the science education. Actually, these sensors uh, give makes the smartphone as smarter. Let's see the sensor. Next screen. The sensor is the device that detects major changes in our nearby environment and sends the data to the OS or processor, and that can be sensed by different type of sensors. First of all, we come to the GPS. GPS, it is very known sensor, global positioning system, which enable us to navigate and to locate the location. Next, proximity sensor. Proximity sensor usually sits up near the top of the speaker, uh, near the top speaker, and combined an infrared LED and a light detector. It works out when you have the phone up to your ear so that screen can be switched off. The sensor actually emits a beams of light, and that get bounce back. Next, ambient light sensor. Ambient light sensor detects the light around our environment, and our in our phone there is a option auto brightness. It has been worked due to this sensor. heart rate monitor, another sensor. Heart rate sensor measures your heart rate in beat per minute. Uh, an optical LED light source is there, and that light source shines through your skin, and the sensor measures the amount of light that reflect back, and the reflection will vary at the uh, at the rate of your blood pressure, and so it can be interpreted as a heart rate monitor. And the types of sensor is magnetometer, and magnetometer can be worked as a compass in our phone. It measures the magnetic field. And then accelerometer. Accelerometer sensor in our smartphone can detect the orientation of the phone and vibration, acceleration. Many times we are telling it as gravity sensor also. This sensor, due to this sensor, we can measure the acceleration, velocity, etc. Gyroscope, then gyroscope sensor, or it has been called also gyro sensor. It's a advanced version of the accelerometer. Then sound sensor. Sound sensor means it's from the beginning of the phone. Sound sensor is in the phone, that is microphone, and also there is a output device that is speaker, loudspeaker, and this loudspeaker and microphone which will enable us for smarter experiment. Another two types of sensor here shown, that is temperature sensor and barometer sensor. These two types of sensor are not available all types of phone. At high-end phone, these sensors are available actually. Okay, Sanjay.
Now, Soman tells all about the sensors. With the sensors, we have some application we get from Play Store and iOS. Sensors are already inbuilt in your phone, but sensors you must download from Play Stores, iOS or and Apple phones. So here are some applications shown on the right side. First of all, it's Firefox. It's a great application where it is trained from TIFR, and then Science Journal from Google. Then signal generator, then physics tools, etc., oscilloscope, electrodiode, etc. And then at the lower side we see Sky, Walk 2, and then Stellarium, etc. Then now we come to the first application, that is Firefox. How can we use Firefox? Now we go to the application. It is live from my phone. I open Firefox. Then I touch the acceleration. Then a blink place signal is blinking. I touch on that. That is show the acceleration of my phone. Now I move forward, then show the acceleration. You watch. That's why you can measure the acceleration when you travel to a train, and then you can you on just acceleration with G, then you get the acceleration without G, then you get the acceleration of train. Or then next sensor is gyroscope. What is gyroscope? Someone said about the gyroscope. It measures the orientation of phone. If I rotate the phone, the orientation is measured, and if omega it will be measured by gyroscope. Then light sensors. It can measure the illumination of light. You see the luminosity of my room. When I come out to my room and show the luminosity is high. I go to my veranda and show the luminosity is increasing. Then we can measure the LDR experiment and other experiment through this light sensor. At lab, MSc lab, we'll practice when we when we do the practical. We use lux meter, which is very costly. But you with a smartphone, you can easily measure the luminosity of a LED or light, etc. One simple experiment done by Abhi Ronirban Samanto from TLC, it can shown at the last of my PPT. Then next location, the next sensor, magnetometer. It can measure the magnetic field, Earth magnetic field. Here it is showing the Earth magnetic field is 50 microtesla. That is not so correct. Subhash Babu said that is not so accurate. But here, when I take a magnet and move towards my phone, it show the Tesla is high. Tesla value is high. Here you can measure the magnetic field of a magnet. Then some sensors of auto amplitude, auto acceleration, auto scope here, but audio amplitude, audio auto correction, etc. These audio sensors are not working now because my phone is connected with you via audio mode. For this is not acting on my phone. You can measure the sonar, Doppler effect, etc. from here. You can when you on the audio amplitude, you measure the decibel of sound pressure, etc. Then we come to the next, elastic collision. Elastic collision means one. I show you a video that I shoot in my home. Please watch.
So in between, Mr. Devmalla Sen is raising his hands. I think he has some question. So
We will discuss. We will discuss at last. At first, we show the total things. Then we discuss.
Okay, so Mr. Sen, we will take your question at the end. Okay, after ending this.
Please put your microphones off. Now we play the video. Then how next I see how elastic collision measured by our phone. You see the height and time of the falling of ball. That's why from this data we can calculate the collision. Originally it is inelastic collision. Then we can measure the centrifugal acceleration. How can we do this? If your phone you can move as like you put a stone with a rope and moving around it, you just replace the stone with your mobile phone. Risk is yours, and then you move around you. Then you calculate the value of centrifugal acceleration on your phone. The data will be stored in your phone that how the value of original acceleration. Then you come to the pendulum. It can measure also. I'll perform a video. How can it measure?
So it means, Mr. Pal, you are using that phone like a bob of the pendulum.
Just replace a bob with your phone. Then data will store. I calculate that tomorrow. I calculate tomorrow from this data that our yesterday. It is like my value is 1000 something meter per second. Then roll. If your phone is rolling, how can it do this experiment? on a roll, you can just put your phone and cover with it, and then incline. Then it put down put up in an inclined plane, and just put this, and then the phone is slipping down, and you calculate the total rolling speed and other things from it. Then you come to the timers. These 4 types of timers. It's acoustic stopwatch, motion stopwatch, optical stopwatch, and proximity stopwatch. One stopwatch I show you with a video, magnetic stopwatch. Put my phone in magnetic stopwatch mode, and a magnet is moving. Now see the peaks.
That
When
means you are
magnet moves,
using a magnet like a bob of the
as
pendulum.
a pendulum. Then show the peaks. You can calculate the time period of this from this data. Time scale is below, and you see, you can calculate. Then this type, this is also, you can use this also stopwatch. Then accelerations, then inclination. One of the other sensor that your phone
Tilt.
if your phone is placed on horizontal level, the inclination shows 0. Then rise it 1 up. Then it show the angle between horizontal plane and your phone. This also I take a video here. Shows 0. So you can measure the angle between phone and horizontal plane.
For the purpose of experiment in the friction, then you can use the angle of the inclination plane.
So that means we can use it to measure the inclination of a plane.
Right.
Yes. Right. Now, another app we will go. This is physics tools. It is also an interesting application. Now here, you can measure the length with your phone. So the scale is appearing right side of your phone, and you can measure the actual length. You see, you just put your phone with that, you can measure, then you get the value. Next, you see barometer. It's shown that this phone is not detected barometer. Phone has no barometric sensor. If you use iPhone, then you could get barometric sensor. Then compass. You show the compass. Someone said it's a magnetometer application. You show the phone orientation. Google Map uses this compass for giving you the navigation. Then color detector is also interesting. You show my room color. So then I move. Which color you see? You show it. Then different lots of sensor here, and you can use these sensors for your experiment at laboratories. Now another application is sound generator. Here
Signal
you can
generator.
generate signal generator. Sorry, signal generator. You can use this signal generator for frequency generator in your lab. The output is coming through audio jack and Bluetooth also. Here we see a particular value 1760 Hertz and sine wave. Then you get this, and if we start, then we get the signal sine wave and with that particular frequency. Then if we get triangular wave, then we get this sawtooth wave, square wave, etc. Noise, etc. You can get these signals from this application.
And it will also act as both Firefox and also another tool, because it has been generating signal with minimize option. I mean, you can generate signal and then minimize it, and then you can do work with other apps also.
Okay. Next, GPS sensor. GPS is a sensor which is used as your phone. You see which can detect from our GPS your latitude, longitude, altitude, and speed. When you're moving in a train, you just on this GPS sensor, then you get the speed. What is the speed of the train? That's and the accuracy shown, and you see last the satellite. How many satellites is moving on your head? It can show you. Now, another is tellurium. I just start this and it's automatically showing the stars, planets at the position at sky. You can use this for showing telescope. Set your telescope. It's a guiding map of sky. You can use this and you can measure. You can see the actual position of the star with your.
So that means, Mr. Pal, after opening the app, we have to aim it at the sky. Then it will guess from its map on at which position which stars are right now at the time when you are aiming at the sky. So with that, we can get the proper position of the stars. That may be at daytime or maybe at right time. So it will show you the proper positions of different stars and constellations.
With this app, you can track International Space Station and Hubble Space Telescope also. Here is the position of Hubble Space Telescope. You can track. If you want to watch the International Space Station, it shows your it shows a notification, and then you put your telescope at that position, and you can watch the International Space Station. There's a different lots of apps available in the market. Anyone you can use, and you can perform it. Yes.
Open Firefox again, please. We like to discuss about the data export. How can you export your data or save your data from Firefox? So this portion. Open any accelerator or any one experimental. Then yes. At the upper portion there is some 3 dots or like that. Data export purpose. Here export data option is there. You can export your data at Excel format and use it.
And another you show here PC physics tools. It can also a recorder. Here the lal plus signal here. You can start and the data is recorded started. Okay, and this file name that you can store. And then you can here also tools which can plot your graph. That's all. So if you like to say, you can.
And another caution is there: don't use high magnetic field for the experiment, because your phone memory or your phone may damage for that purpose.
Now
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Sanjay sir.
Yes.
Yes, this is Anirban Gupta from Silvassa. Sir, due to network error, I missed one topic maybe. Using Firefox, have you demonstrated how to use this elastic or inelastic collisions? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Anirban. I am
Yes,
telling
sir.
that Anirban Gupta and also Snehal madam is there. They were also at HBCS and they can help us for the today's discussion also.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Anirban sir, Anirban Gupta, you can also discuss about it. Then we will be grateful.
Yes. Hello. Yes, sir. Hello. Yes, sir.
Hello.
My
Yes,
question.
yes,
Yes, sir.
Mr.
My question was to. Yeah, I think Sanjay sir was explaining the use of Firefox. We have given a trial to it, but the inelastic collisions I could not understand actually while I was performing. So if Sanjay sir has done some experiment with that, can he please explain it using elastic? I missed the session maybe due to network error for a couple of minutes in between.
Yeah, I think Sanjay Pal has shown us a video or a
Okay.
live demo of elastic collision that I can remember.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Mr. Pal, can you share it again, the elastic collision part? So, after starting the sensor, he is dropping the ball, and then the data is being recorded. And as you see here, the data has been recorded. So that's how he performed that elastic collision experiment.
Okay, okay. So it's just a ball dropping and we
Yeah,
find.
from the camera, it can sense the height of each third.
Okay, using the camera. What I thought was we can use
I
the
think
microphone.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'll ask Mr. Pal. Mr. Pal, is it
Yes.
using a camera or the microphone to record the data in elastic collision? Hello, I'm asking to our mentors.
Yes.
It is using
Using
camera or microphone?
it's using microphones.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
So
first it sound the first sound and then take the next sound and get the
that
height
means
and time.
it is recording the thirds. It is
Third.
recording the thirds of the ball, and that's how it is generating the data.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right, sir. Right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Dev Malashan is raising hand. Yes, you can ask.
Sir, I got 4 questions. First, I noted down the magnetometer. My question is where actually the magnetometer is situated, because the dimension of phone is very big and the magnetic field vary very sharply with the distance. So, if you can point out that what is the exact position of that magnetic compass.
Actually, Mr. Sen, that varies phone to phone. Actually, this depends on the architecture of that particular handset set that you are using, and how the company is assembling the sensor in which part, and how it is connected to the motherboard. So that's how the position will be varying phone to phone. So we cannot show you the exact position for a particular model. So, but as I think this magnetometer is used by by our mobile phone also for detecting different signals and purpose that it have. Otherwise, when they might not provide that particular sensor. So I think it works on an average value, as I think.
No,
But
actually,
but
I think
but
that
it works but it is very sensitive. I noticed it.
no, I actually thought that I can find the phone strength by using different distance or not. So that is not possible.
Acha, Mr. Sen,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have tried with this as regards magnetometer experiment. Actually, If the exact position is known, then it's better, of course. But even if it is not known, then I could do some experiment, because you have seen that it is magnetic meridian position. In magnetic meridian position, we shall get the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. I presume that it may depend on the set to set. There is one y direction. Perhaps that y direction actually represents the value of the corresponding value of the magnetic field, horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. That is one thing. See, that means that the horizontal component is known from the set itself. Now, suppose we want to map the magnetic field to a certain magnet, say a dipole magnet. We are used to the ring magnets, ferrite ring magnets, and if we place it perpendicular to the magnetic meridian with its face, then the magnetic field will change, reading will change. It will be the magnetic field of the magnetic field due to that ring is say F, then either it will be F plus H or F minus H. Okay, because that depends on the orientation of the magnet. Naturally, we can adjust rotating. If it is F plus H, after just giving a 180 rotation, it will be H minus F, H plus F, H minus F. And from naturally just rather subtracting or adding, you can find both H and F again. And so that value can be determined. So really, magnetic field, but point is that I cannot exactly find the position. So that position is arbitrary. But if you know that it is x plus some error, say epsilon, then you can actually verify the relation, that is magnetic field B equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into 2m by r cube. Is it not? That if we call it in the unknown position. So that can be done. That relation can be verified. Even the exact position of the even we can find also the position from these measurements. Okay, am I clear, Mr. Sen?
Okay, sir. Sir,
Actually,
hello.
But one thing I am telling you, I am not very much satisfied with on doing this experience. So I have really not done that. I have not taken the data. Otherwise, I could show that thing that's right now. Because you see that it is that things are not rather being repeated. That means I am getting one value, and when I am doing the same experiment at the same position, same situation, we are getting a different result. I don't know why. Maybe I am not in a position to use the micrometer rather satisfactorily, or maybe something wrong within the set itself. I am not very much sure whether it is my fault or the fault of the system. But it can be done if the readings are stable. Then I think it can be used even when the position of the magnetometer is not exactly known.
Sir,
yes, please.
My second question is with the acceleration measurement. Can we measure the acceleration of a body, or we can only measure the acceleration of the phone?
Phone itself is taken as the body.
Okay.
Phone itself taken as the body.
Or you can you can tie that phone with the particular body that you are trying to measure the acceleration, and release that body, and the phone will move along with it. So it will get you will get the exact data of that particular body you are trying to find out the acceleration.
No, sir, I was thinking to measure the acceleration of the experiment shown by Dr. Subhash Samanto, that sugar globules is falling through the mobile. Anyway, that is not possible.
No, that is not possible. Actually, the acceleration
that is possible only with the stopwatch attached with the mobile phone. It is sufficient.
My third
Mr. Sen,
yes,
that experiment you can do very good with the phone attached, stopwatch attached with the phone. Not you don't have to associate the globule with the globule with the phone. You can do it independently. But in fact, using any stopwatch, it can be done because the motion is so slow.
Sir, my third
we can use here optical stopwatch.
Optical stopwatch. I have not seen it. But point is that I have tried to use this accelerometer also, but readings are not stable. That's the problem. That is, the same readings are not. We are not getting the same readings even under same situation repeatedly, if I see situation remains the same. If I first time I'm taking certain getting certain value, next time I'm getting another value. Those situation has not changed. That is, I don't know whether it is our problem or the problem with the system, or I don't know. That is happening in most of the cases. So we have
Sir,
actually Oniban has taken some data for the using that what is called the lux meter. Using the lux meter, he has got some good result. He has got some graphs also. I think he will show that thing. Otherwise, we have tried to perform one experiment as for the resonance air coulomb resonance experiment. That is actually class 11 experiment. High secondary lab they are doing now. But qualitatively it is okay that sometimes they are getting resonance. That's fine. But when we are going to measuring the things, then we are not satisfied with the result. Again, so this has some problem. Maybe the problem lies with you. Sanjay, hello. Sanjay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think you can you do some experiments, and have you done their experiments at Hoyever Center? Did you do some experiment? Have you done some experiments at the Hoyever Center using this?
Actually,
hello.
no, sir.
Oh.
No, sir.
Now I think at
Actually,
least,
sir. Actually,
okay.
Actually, sir. Actually, one thing. If I perform the experiment, sir, please put off your phone.
Okay.
If I want to show you the experiment, actually, I need 3 phones.
No, that's a different issue. That's I understand.
That is the problem. Because
okay,
one phone is.
But I'm not. But when the time, good time will come, then you can do the experiment. We can collect people, no problem. But the problem is that even in that situation, we are not getting the results because here we have got 3-4 phones. But
I calculate the result of pendulum and magnetometer. It's almost correct. It's showing 1000 meter per second like this G value of G.
Then we have to see. We have to, because we did not get it. So that is the problem. But I think that magnetometer experiment also, that readings are not stable at all. I don't know whether you
actually sir, sensors of different phones are different. If you use high-end phone, accuracy is more better than the low-end phone.
The problem is that they are showing undue sensitivity. Suppose yesterday only one tried to do the experiment on the resonance, and as in the dead of night when everybody was sleeping, he thought that would be very good situation to do the experiment. But even then, it was showing the decibel reading was so much fluctuating, and we thought that decibel reading should be taken to get the good result. But that because when we take our ear as the detector, then we see that there is a frequency band of say 2000 to 100 hertz or like that. So things are not coming in that way. I am again telling we have not tried that much.
Actually, sir, what happens in this case? Different phones. My voice is. I'm having an echo from someone's mic. Please, could you please put your mic off? So, with different, actually, different types of different companies are using different types of sensors, and they also. Use different qualities of sensor for different types of phones according to their prices. So we are getting lots of different types of sensors with different qualities in different phones. So that's a big problem. And another thing, to my assumption, when you are working with any sound, like when you are trying to record the decibel of sound or anything, everything is being done by using your phone's microphone or speaker. So the quality of the speaker and the microphone varies a lot from set to set. So that's why I think we cannot get the exact data from a single phone, and as I assume it will be better if we have the access of 2 or 3 phones simultaneously and we took the data and then do a average. That can make a sense, I think. It's my opinion.
You are absolutely right. Anirban, you are absolutely right. Another one thing, if you use physics tools for sound detecting, it is a better result. Some software of Firefox for audio amplitude is
Software is also responsible for the accuracy, because how the data is being processed, what kind of
yes,
algorithm is
yes,
being used, that is also dependent. On that, the accuracy also depends.
yes.
Because different apps are using different kinds of algorithm. So there may be some errors, there may be some bugs to their algorithm, so we can have different kinds of data, that I assume.
Sir, my next question, that color detector, there was a number was coming. Is what the wavelength or it is something else?
No, in color detector, the number you are getting, actually, these are some internationally standardized number or codes
Yes.
that are being used for different colors. So from a standardized color chart, if you if you use CorelDRAW or Photoshop kind of softwares, there you can have a color palette, and on that color palettes, the colors are being numbered, or they use this kind of codes to denote a particular color. So I think they are using that internationally standardized code denoted for a particular color.
So it is not possible using that color detector to detect the wavelength of the LEDs, that what color light is coming, or it is for the colored object. Means there are two things. One is color object, one is the color light source. It is used for the color object or color light source.
You can
What I
get the
Yeah,
code.
Sanju,
You can
yeah.
get the code, and then if you want to code it, this particular code, what is the wavelength of
No,
that
no.
code?
Actually, I think Mr. Sen is asking whether we can get that he was telling that he wants to get the particular wavelength or like that something. Isn't it, Mr. Sen?
Yes, sir. I am asking. This is giving the color of the object, or I can also point to a light source to get
Actually,
Actually,
as I
object
assume, yes. Tell me.
actually I don't know what has happened. I just put it my home and I see the result. It can if you do the
Yeah,
experiment, you can see.
that is I'm trying to explain. Actually, as I assume, whenever you're aiming your phone towards any colored object, that may be a object or that may be some LEDs or bulb that is illuminating a particular color or wavelength of light. Actually, the phone cannot detect such differences of sources, like whether it is a colored object or whether it is whether a color is being emitted from a light or anything. Actually, I think it will detect the shade of the color that is being emitted
Yes,
or
yes.
reflected, and from that shade it will calculate it using its artificial intelligence. It will calculate and compare the colors that it have in its standardized database, and from that it will make a match and show you what code of color is being reflected or emitted, whatever may be going on. Actually, it cannot detect the source and reflected object separately, that I assume.
I think you are right.
So, Mr. Sen,
I
am I clear?
Yes, sir. My query is over.
Okay, thank you. So, Rinku ma'am is
one
raising
thing,
hand.
one thing, Anirban, one thing, the magnetometer is used for GPS navigation also.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
see, your phone is your phone showing the actual position of your phone,
Hmm.
actual position of you by
Hmm.
this magnetometer.
And there are lots of things the phone itself calculates during when it is performing. So it makes lots of complex calculation to accurately detect its positions and perform all other function related to our handsets. So that's how it is using different kinds of sensors that it has actually. In real time our phone is performing in a very complex manner, so you cannot separate the actions
Yes, yes, yes.
or point out the actions particularly what it is doing right now with that particular sensor. So actually it is calculating a complex algorithm and making a complex algorithm, and from that it is generating its required information. But
Yes.
we have that sensors, and with that sensor what we can
We
do
can.
with
Yes,
such simple apps, we can use those sensor to fit our purpose as per our need. And yes, it is obvious that we cannot get the data that much accurate what you can get from a very sophisticated instrument, but it is workable, and you can use your phone in your home, or do some low cost experiments or something that may help you to reach near to the conclusion, or at least you can do some assumption on the basis of this data that you can get from your phone. And in reality, when you are not having any access to any instrument, then it will do something at least. So
yes.
that's the purpose. And it is obvious that it will not serve as you can have data from a very sophisticated instrument, but it can serve the purpose to some extent.
At school level, it is okay.
Yeah. So Rinku madam is raising hand.
Yes, sir.
So please.
Sir, I have already downloaded Firefox apps in my phone, but when I want to measure the sound amplitude, then a message is coming that you have to set the reference level of the sound amplitude. Then how can we set this amplitude?
Actually, it is not very much clear to me. Please, can you repeat what the message is actually showing by your phone?
Message shows that set the reference level of the sound.
Set the reference level of the sound. I don't know that. Mr. Pal may explain it
হ্যাঁ
properly how to
হ্যাঁ
set a reference.
হ্যাঁ অনির্বাণ দা, actually the Firefox uses for this purpose is not so okay. I think when you measure audio amplitude, you must use physics tools.
Okay.
It will show you better result.
Okay. That's why I'm not getting the. Actually,
I also get
Yes, sir.
some ridiculous result.
Okay, sir. Sir, my another question is, you told about different type of stopwatch like acoustic, optical. So if you just elaborate it or elaborate its functioning, then it will be better for us.
Originally, if you move one object repeatedly near to your phone, it gets repeated result. That technology uses.
Okay, in optical stopwatch,
You saw one thing. You saw. I share the screen.
Yes, sir.
You saw just.
Hello.
There's a proximeter. Yes. Okay. This is proximeter, and my hand is just moved towards upon my phone. You saw what's happened. Okay. This is optical.
So you are moving your hand in front of your camera.
Front of proximity sensor that's situated just beside camera.
Okay. So you are using your hand.
Front camera. Just front camera.
At the front camera. Actually, proximity sensor is lying just beside the front camera. That's why
Front camera,
it's
yes.
getting you the signal.
And
So,
also
if
when Sanjay show the elastic collision, at that time they are using acoustic stopwatch. The sound is detecting.
Sound is detected. And optical stopwatch, when it will be used?
Optical stopwatch when a body comes to it or not, then light will be detected.
I
Light
think
is coming.
you can use it by fixing any illuminating object, and with that using that illuminating object when you are trying to take some data, you can use it for that purpose.
if Anirbandha, if we know that LED, just LED, beeping LED, just beeping 1 second, after 1 second, after 1 second. What is the time period of beeping? We can measure the.
Actually, what happens when you are trying to measure lapse in between? So that time, you what you do, you do it with your by do the pressing the screen with your finger. So in that condition, the exact or the that means the accuracy of the time of pressing not always remains same. In that case, what you can do, you can just flash a torch in front of your mobile phone, so it can detect that illuminating flash. It can detect that flash, and it will use that flash as the signal to record different laps in between. As I think, so actually you have to plan. You have the sensors, and now you have to plan how you are going to use that sensor, or how much efficient, with how much efficiency you can use the sensor. That you have to plan. That I think. Actually, we have lots of instruments around us, and then we try to figure out how we can use those instruments to serve our purpose. So that's why it may yield a great result if you think that how you can use it to serve your purpose, I think. Yes, Mr. Odelu Kumar was trying to saying something, I think.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
At 11:15, another program is there.
Okay.
Sir, Vipne to Vigyan Prasar at Noida.
Okay.
So that's why. So the first of all, sir, it is thank you given for this opportunity for me, sir. My name is B. Odelu Kumar, sir.
Yeah.
As a government teacher, sir.
Okay.
This program very useful for my professional, sir. Is it?
Thank you, Mr. Yes,
sir,
yes.
I am conducting a content basis experiment with low cost, no cost, sir, in our subject. Also, I am also one of the district resource persons, sir, in our Karimnagar district.
Okay.
I want to explain about this program to our physical science teachers also.
Okay, sir.
And more one, we are conducting every month one complex meeting, sir. In that 40, 45 students, science teachers are participating.
Mr. Kumar, this is Plavan Bhomik here. Actually, the valedictory session has been shifted to tomorrow to make a way for these interesting session. So we will very much like to hear you about your experiences, your plan forward, your comments on the sessions that you have attended. But that we will be doing tomorrow morning, I guess. The validation session has been merged together. But if you have any questions or doubts regarding today's session, please ask.
Not there, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But we'll be having the validatory session tomorrow, and
sure.
Really need your inputs, your experience about this program. So please be there in the validatory session tomorrow.
Sure, sir.
So
thank
you. Will be on at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, we can now back to the discussion. So if anyone has any question to ask, please come forward.
Anirbanda, Abir showing some experiment. I want to talk, Abir.
So okay, our another part, very important part of our TLC team, that is Anirban Samanto. He always stay with Professor Subhash Chandra Samanto and work under his guidance, working under his guidance also. So as I think, Anirban Samanto has managed to do some experiments with this using these mobile phones, and I think he will be showing us those experiments. Abir, is it live experiment, or you will show the videos? Anyway, whatever you want, you can do it right now.
No,
So
no.
now it is over to Anirban Samanto.
Thank you, Ananda. I just did the experiments yesterday, and I will show the data and the analysis.
Okay.
So I am sharing the screen.
Okay. So it will be better if you can explain how you have done that experiments. Actually, the setup, the how you use this your phone and did this experiment. So if you can explain those also, so it will make a sense, I think.
Yes, I will explain. First of all, there is a phenomena that is called the inverse square law in photometry. That describes that if we place a photo detector and a photo light source in a distance, the distance between the source and the detector and the intensity of the light will be inversely proportional. I am repeating one more. The intensity of the light is inversely proportional with the square of the distance. Okay, and here we just did the one phone. We take two phones, and one is placed in a distance from another, and the first one is used for the detector, photo detector, and the second one is just a light source, and we use the mobile flashlight for the source. And after varying the distance, we get this data. The A column is shows the distance in centimeter between two phones, and the B column is showing the data between how the intensity change in lux as we use the lux meter of our phone. And here is the other value of root under lux, and it is 1 by root under lux. So first of all, we get this curve. Is this screen visible?
Yes, clearly.
Yes,
clearly.
This is the D versus L graph. You can see here we plot the distance, and here is the intensity of the light. So as we get far from the source and the detector, the lumens getting decreased. Okay, now as we get closer to the detector, the intensity get increased. And here is the inversely proportional curve that is called D versus 1 by root under L, or we can easily or we can do the curve as same D square versus 1 over L, 1 over D square versus 1 over L graph. That will be the same.
Hello. Hello.
yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Nah? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Purpose of drawing two graphs is to show how we can draw a linear graph out of data which actually satisfies the inverse square law. All we know in photometry, the intensity of light depends inversely on the square of the distance. In this experiment, we have taken the phone having the sensor as the detector and the flash bulb as the source. You see, in this experiment, we have plotted the lumen, that's the intensity, lux intensity of the bulb, and this is the distance. So it exactly as it appears follows the inverse square law in photometry. But here you see we have plotted, if you just 1 by root L along y-axis and d along x-axis. Okay. So in that case, we see that graph is initially linear, straight line, but afterwards it is not that much, because you see, I have told earlier also that readings are fluctuating. We are not getting stable reading. We have done the same experiment with LDR as the detector. In that case, we have seen the readings are reasonably well. They actually follow this inverse square law as well as this linear graph. So that is the point that I don't know. Perhaps we are not using the apps appropriately. That is, we are getting the trouble. Otherwise, this experiment is a very good experiment. This is our regular experiment to verify the inverse square law in photometry. But we are not getting the result even with a very crude detector like LDR. LDR certainly a crude detector. I think it's a very sophisticated detector, but we are not getting good result. Okay. Actually, Oniban Samuth has done this experiment. I am just commenting on this experiment with my previous experience, comparing it with our previous experience. Okay, anything to comment? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm talking about the D versus 1 by root over L curve.
Yes.
So it is supposed to be linear.
Hello. Hi. Yes.
So it would have been better if a regression curve has been drawn. So in that case, it would have been appeared to be linear, and you can measure the errors that have been introduced in your experiment.
Please repeat. I can't follow. Please repeat.
So instead of drawing a line graph, if a regression curve would have been drawn, then it would have looked like a linear curve, and there you can really measure the errors that you have that have been induced in the experiment.
Yes, that can be done always. That's true. That's true. But actually, when I was trying to understand whether really at a large distance it has got some other problems, because you see that light, that is what is called that room light, or the dark light, that is also having some problem like that. That's it, because we did not take very much readings also. We should have done
some noise.
So idea.
Light noise is actually some error here occurs due to environment light.
So actually, that's what the point of regression curve is. If you can draw a regression curve, then you can really measure the error that have been introduced in the experiment for different situations.
Yes, I think that's how we can manage these errors.
Yes, at least we can tell that this situation has got this amount of error.
Again, the purpose of drawing the linear curve is to actually locate the sensor also. You see, this should not pass through theoretically. This should not pass through the origin. As it is a linear curve, it should not pass through the origin. That is my purpose also. If we draw the distance versus 1 over root L, L is the intensity of the light, then this linear graph should not pass through the origin, because we do not know exactly, because we have tried to measure that always the distance of the bulb, flash bulb from the sensor, but it is not exactly known. So that is why from that we can actually know the position of the bulb also. That is one point for this purpose from this experiment. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Subroto Chandra is raising hand. Yes, please, Mr. Chandra.
Yes, sir. Actually, primarily, we can also do another thing, that we can show the students by measuring these data and by doing the curve fitting, we can show them that these two quantities follow the inverse square law.
That's okay.
From the graph.
That we have done. This graph actually shows that thing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
This
sir.
is the intensity and this is the distance.
Yes, I just meant that instead of saying beforehand, after performing the experiment, they can themselves, I mean, see that it follows indeed the inverse square law. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chandra.
Any other comment, please?
So then we can move to the next experiment, I think.
Okay, we have not done other experiment. Only thing that because these things, these other experiments did not yield expected results, so I have stopped. I have tried to do the magnetometer experiment also.
So that means you are trying to say you are not getting much satisfied with these results. So that's why you are not trying.
I like to contact the Hoyo-centered people. See, I think they can help. I am sure that they have done the experiments using these phones. You see that I really did sometimes earlier the experiment to the air column resonance. This is a popular experiment in higher secondary physics class. You see, perhaps you have also done. Almost few months back, I tried this experiment in a program. There I saw it correct qualitatively. That resonance is coming with a signal of 1,000 hertz. We get almost the correct result, almost. But when I did it actually in a more closer way, I saw that no, results are not that good. Even we really in the high secondary lab, we really get good results with that simple set. So now yesterday evening also, Odinman tried it hard, but he did not get results.
Ananda,
yes,
I can share my opinion that I was doing last night the experiment with the water column.
Okay.
Air column resonance.
Yeah.
I just put a mobile, mainly the lower side for the speaker over a water container, and I just cylindrical water container. I just increasing the frequency from a signal generator by using a similar apps like frequency generator from my phone.
Okay.
And another phone is placed under the cylinder, which can detect the resonance volume or resonance frequency, you can say, intensity.
Okay.
The problem was it was midnight, and when a dog was barking outside or a bird was singing, that catches the frequency.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that this always reserves, and hence the expected value was not getting.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, those are few problems lying with these devices. Actually, the sensitivity issue. Sometimes it shows a very high sensitivity, or sometimes due to some limitations of the hardwares, they are not getting that much sensitivity. So there are some issues remains with these devices. But again, I can say that we can use and we can plan for that, how we can manage the errors, just like Dr. Bhomik said. If we put a regression curve in this case, so we can get or minimize the, we can omit those errors, and from this that regression curve we can have a straight line. So this way we have to plan, I think. And if I now want to ask our mentors if they have anything more to show, they can, or otherwise I would like to welcome Dr. Bhomik to comment on the basis of his observation, uh, that what actually I would like to make a comment or summary of this part of the session. So uh, initially I would like to ask the mentors if they have anything more, any more thing to show, they can do. or otherwise I will go to Dr. Bhomik.
Comment. Hello.
Yes,
Audible?
yeah, yes, sir.
Use,
Actually, yes, sir.
we have not used the apps thoroughly. I think
Okay.
we need to use this thoroughly, and ultimately we shall. I
Yes.
think as because the things are there, we can try, and ultimately when we'll be using it appropriately, we can get results. It's not
Okay.
that we are telling that we cannot do any experiment with this system. That I think we can be. We have to consult other persons also who are used to these things, but we
Yes,
can do
sir.
it. Or
Yes, sir.
how Plavon can comment whether
Yeah.
how can it be used properly.
Yes, sir. So, Dr. Bhomik, would you like to make some comment on it?
Sure. So the first comment that I like to make is that you cannot have measurements without errors. So take any device, however or whatever sophisticated it is, there is always a scope of error. So you cannot really do away with errors while you're doing experiments. So you can think of these sensors in your mobile phones are kind of new kind of devices or new kind of measurement devices, which gives you the access to the different methods which was unthinkable even before 2 or 3 years ago. So if we take our schools, in most of the cases, we don't have sufficient infrastructure to run the experiments. Now we have got these devices with which we can at least measure different phenomena or different quantities uh, in small or bigger experiments. And of course, we have seen that there are certain issues while we are dealing with these devices, depending on the quality of the handset, depending on the software that is hosting these or dealing with these sensors. Those will always be there. We can think of like if you have a measurement device, we talk about calibrating the device with an ideal setting. So I think calibration would be a major uh, mm, work item to work with these devices. For example, if you are having calibration in the sound error in the sound level, so we can calibrate your device based on the proper sound level, and then we can take that as the reference point and record the observations on top of that, taking that as an offset. So in that respect, I think this is a kind of new world that is getting open to the teaching community to make good use of these devices. And I will really like to thank and congratulate Mr. Pal and Mr. Sharkar to show us the way. And going forward, I think we need to experiment a lot with these devices and try to map how these sensors can be used in our experiments that are taught in our curriculum in different levels. So I think that is a good starting point. If we can replicate or redo the experiments with in our curriculum using these devices, and if you can create a bank training materials on these topics, these experiments using these devices, that would be a very huge set of resource. And in that respect, I like to seek help of all the teachers that are who are participating in this workshop. Please do the experiments, share your observation, at least if you can take the responsibility individually for 1 or 2 experiments. We'll be having kind of 60 odd experiments done with these devices. And while we are doing these experiments, we'll get to know the issues. And of course, if some issues are coming, I know you are motivated enough to go around those issues, resolve those issues, and finally we'll be having a huge resource, and we can share those resources with the other teachers and students. With this hope, I will again like to congratulate Mr. Paul and Mr. Sharkar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhomik, for your comments. Actually, that I am trying to say from the very beginning, that we will have the issues, we will have the error, but we have to find the way how can we use these devices in spite of having these errors to serve our purpose, at least at our school. So thank you again, Dr. Bhomik, for summarize the things. And now I am going to ask Mr. Sarkar, uh, will you show that Socrative part of the
Okay.
session? Yeah.
Okay, I'm sharing screen first. In the present scenario, means in this lockdown period, we are trying to reach our student in different way. Here, Socrative is a platform such that we can take online test or open book test from a student, like a Google form also. Let's come why we are using Socrative. It is used as a formative assessment tool, and not only for assessment, we can do by this quiz and also polls by it. And what is the facility? You can shuffle your question for different way, and you can shuffle your answer, means for multiple purpose. You can shuffle your answer also. You can do it and anonymously also. And if you it is a very facilitator, facilitating the teacher for saving time, because you have not to assess first. If you take the quiz, after assessment will be done automatically, and you can send immediate feedback to the student, and instant feedback is very good for learning also. For the student purpose, it is totally free, and teachers purpose, it is free up to a end, and you can purchase the pro version. And if you do it using free version, that's enough to us also. And it is not so much uh, problematic to student. They can use very easily it also. I can show it, and it can be available in any platform. You can use from mobile Play Store. You can download the apps, and you can use from Windows or Apple from computer also. Now come to the next part. There are two types, two ends are there, teacher's perspective and student's perspective. The software is here and the website is given here, socrative.com, and for teachers login, another link is there, and student purpose another link is there, and you can download from the Play Store also. uh, for teacher, you have to download the teacher's version.
Mr. Sarkar, could you please rotate your screen so that we can have a bigger view?
Okay. Right.
Yes, that's fine.
Now come to the teacher's end. First, if you go to the website or the apps, you can find the page, and then you have to first time you have to sign up like any other sign up options, and after signing up you have to sign in. Then you will get this page. Here, see at the upper portion upper portion left end, you can find four pentagons, or right end you can get three straight line. These two are very effective. For left end, anytime you can put you can click the left upper end, you get this page. And if you put right end, then you will go for taking question for another purpose. Teachers have two parts. What these two? One is, first of all, you have to create the quiz, means uh, you have to set the questions and answers, etc. And after that, second part is launching the quiz or launching the test to the students in these two parts. First, I am showing how you can create a quiz or how you can create the questions in that portion. For that purpose, you have to click here, and you will get this portion here. See, um, the lower portion, launch quizzes room report results are same. Here rooms, already default rooms will be available in your name, or you can change it. But if you want to create room or another room, then you have to purchase. If for another room, then what can be done? You can do uh, two types of two quiz simultaneously for two types of students. But if you want for a one quiz for one type of student, then one room is sufficient. And first, you have to put the quiz and add the quiz. How you can do it? First, you have to click on the quiz portion. Quizzes portion, then you will get this skin. And here you are seeing that add quiz is there. Add, after clicking add quiz, you can create new type of question, new for the new chapter also. And whatever you have done, that will be saved in the lower portion. For add quiz, I am going next part. Here two option is there, create new and import. Suppose that I have created a quiz and I am sharing it to you, and you don't have write everything also, you can import it very easily. Otherwise, you have to create new, and after clicking that, you will get the next page, and here you can titled the proper titled the quiz, and what type of quiz, what type of question you can set here. Three types of question: MCQ, multiple choice, true false, or short answer type. But in case of short answer type, whatever you will be written in the answer, if it doesn't totally match, then it will show it is wrong answer. I am choosing multiple choice. Then here number one, you will put the question and options is there, and you can vary the option, means you can give 3 option, 4 option, 5 option, etc. By putting add answer, you will increase your options. And here there is a option also, putting the answer, what is the clue or explanation. If is any explanation, then you have option to put it. Here you can see there is a option, there is a figure here, where after clicking plus you can put images, but it is only available for pro version. For free version it is not available. And suppose that you are putting 10 question, and you like to put another question in between 1 and 2, then here that can be done if you go to add question, upper portion or lower portion. Any portion you can do it, and question also up and down also, and answer can be shuffle for different student also. First part end. Now coming to the second part, how can you launch? For that purpose, for getting this question, for getting this window, we can put right side and then get launch and then click launch. Otherwise, directly clicking on the 4 pentagon, you can get the scheme. Here if you put quiz, you can see here 3 options are there: quiz, space race, exit ticket. Exit ticket is for any feedback like that, or space race, it is a different type of configuration, means showing will be another different type, and you can group a student and they will how after giving the answer how will go there, it can be shown. I will show it later. I'm going to the quiz. Here, after clicking the quiz, I am getting whatever quizzes I have created and which portion, which quiz I like to start. After clicking that, in the lower portion, we will start it. We'll click the next. And then here 3 options are there: instant feedback, open navigation, and teacher space. Instant feedback, and we will give the permission to the student for total number of quiz will go there, and he can choose anyone to do answer first. And suppose he first do the answer, he first answer one question 1, then question 5, then question 3, or like that. After that, after ending all the question, he will have the option to finish it.
That means,
If he
Mr.
does,
Sarkar, student will have get the access of the whole question paper, and they can choose the question according to their wish, and the answer accordingly. So
right,
that means they don't have to depend on you that which question is coming next. So they will get the access of the whole question paper, and they will do the answer according to their wish, isn't it?
right, right. But total question, all of the question will not coming same time. One
Mm.
question will coming
Yeah,
same time, but
they can
he can,
navigate. Yeah, yeah.
right. It is done by open navigation. And another portion, one question, if one student put answered one question, then come to the next question, it can be done. If you click teacher space, then the end will in your in your end, means when you will click next, then the next question will come to the
That
student.
means control is in your hand. You will put the question one by one, and that will come to the students interface, and accordingly they can answer it, isn't it,
Right,
sir?
right,
Yeah.
right. And here in the lower portion, we are seeing requires name. Student will put your name, and shuffle question, shuffle answer. So question feedback, so final score. Here shuffle question means if you doesn't put a teacher space, then different student will show different question at a time. And shuffle answer means the multiple choices options will be different to the different student.
That means, Mr. Sarkar, when you are using teacher space, you are not getting the shuffle question option.
Right. But a
Yeah,
shuffle answer
but a
can be
shuffle
there.
answer will be available. So in
Right.
case of when you are using open navigation or instant feedback, you will have the shuffle questions answer, shuffle questions option, so that the student will get different sets of questions that we
Right.
usually have in our competitive exams also. The same questions, questions are the same in the question paper, but they are arranged in different order. So in this way, we can have that shuffle question part. And to have this, we have to use the instant feedback or the open navigation system. With teacher space, we cannot have that option, isn't it, Mr. Sharkar?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I am seeing quiz option after putting the teacher space. Here the next button is coming because the control is in my hand. When I will click the next button, the next question will be come. Here see that there how we do after after this portion, there is seeing 0 by 0 students answer. Means real, in the real time you can see how many students are there and how many students are answered in this question. Means there are, suppose there are 10 students, five students have been already answered, then you will show, you will see 5 by 10. Here the space race, how the space race will is shown, that is a different window, different looks are there. You can use it also, and after using you can do it finish. Now I am coming to the students option. Student can download the apps, and then he will get the screen. Otherwise, you can give the link only. That is written here in the yellow portion. You just send the link. They will click the link and will get the window. Here he or she has to put the room name, whatever you have set the room name, you will have to send it also, and tell them also. Then they will put room name, and then they can join after putting their name. They will see the question like that. Here 20 questions are set it, and one question, 1 out of 20 is here, and they, after clicking the answer, they submit their answer. Now coming to the report portion. It is very important to us because Socrative gives us whole Excel sheet, individual students PDF, and question specific PDF. It can be emailed or download. Whole Excel sheet total scenario will be come to the teacher, and individual students PDF, it will help to send the student to the total result with the PDF, and instantly. That is very effective for learning instant feedback. And question specific feedback means you get which question is correctly answered by the student betterly or not, which in which portion they have a problem, means that portion you should have to teach again or not. You can justify yourself also. This is a total scenario. Here seen that the name of the student and the percentage, and whatever they answered, right or wrong, which question have right answer, how much percentage, that is fully shown. It is individual students PDF, where they can show their percentage of marks and which question answer, that can be shown. And this is the question specific PDF. That is, here we are seeing in the first question, first option, 7 student give correct answer out of 10. Here we can analysis our question and us also. Thank you. This is also we have learned from HBCSE. And now I like to perform a quiz, small quiz, 5-question quiz, and such that you can do it, you can familiar it more effectively.
So that means you are going to create a real-time quiz, isn't it?
Right.
So I would like to tell the participant, if you want, you can join this quiz so that you have a real-time experience, how it feels.
Excuse me, for that we have to download the app, right?
No.
Okay,
I am giving in the link in the chat box. You, after clicking that, you can enter, and the room name will be DELNet, DELNet.
All will be in caps, isn't it?
I am
Mr.
giving
Sarkar,
it in the chat. Okay.
Mr. Sarkar, room name
all
DELNet
capital.
will be in capital. Okay.
Capital. Okay.
So please follow the chat box of this Zoom meeting. Here you can have the link. With after clicking that link, you can enter the room by putting the room name as DELNet and all in caps, and then you can have the real-time experience, and you can get that quiz.
Someone off the screen share.
Okay. Okay, in the chat box, it is available probably. The link is available. Hello.
Mr. Chandra is saying, Mr. Chandra is saying the link is not working.
Link is not working. Okay, I'm seeing.
It's working.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Bhumik said that it's working. Please try again. So, Mr. Sarkar, will you share the quiz now? So it will be better if you share anything on English so that everybody can understand.
Okay. Now I am seeing. Are you finding the question? Here in the screen, you can see how teacher can see that. I am saying who enters the room and who can give the answer, etc.
So I would request the participant do it randomly, do some intentional mistakes so that we can have a real-time view. Here we can see those who have submitted, it is showing as 100% and a tick beside it, isn't it, Mr. Sarkar?
Right.
Yeah.
The result screen is here.
You can see the result in the screen of the Zoom.
And as per my knowledge, as I got from you, that we can off the name of the students also.
Right.
That if we choose the show of the show name option, then student cannot see their name. So sometime that is also required. So when I am not intended to show the names to or share the names who are getting how much marks to others. So in that case, we can off that show names option.
And show answer also off, can be off like that.
Sir, this screen is for teacher, na teacher's mobile.
Yeah, it is teacher's perspective view.
Only.
Whatever you are getting in your phone, that is the student specific view, and here we are having the teacher specific view.
Actually, only one that there is two apps, one for teachers, one for students.
Yeah, actually, I think app is single. There are two options for teachers.
No, two different apps.
Okay. Thank you. That is a mention-worthy point.
Now we can finish it probably. Most of them completed answer. Okay, I am finishing now. Now reports have been generated and we can show the report also. There is an option here, email me, then it can be emailed. Okay. Okay, thank you. Any question?
Thanks, Mr. Sarkar. So that's how we can use this Socrative app very efficiently to organize tests for our students in this during this lockdown period, or when your student is not present physically. Sometimes it happens that your students is not being able to present physically to take the test due to some unavoidable circumstances or reasons. In that case, with the permission of your authority, you can organize such tests also online. So these are the purpose we can serve very effectively with these apps. So now the session is open for the discussion. If anyone have any queries, they can ask. Yes, Anirban Gupta is raising hand. Please.
Hello. Yes, sir. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I had a question. You said that the app is different for a teacher and a student. So if we are creating a quiz or a test, then how do we link it to the students? Do we send a link and they can use the same link in their app, in their students app, or we need to have some connect? We need to connect these two apps in some way.
Same link is there, but room you will have to you will have to give the room name.
Okay.
Same link is there.
Same link. Okay. So if even if the apps are different, the same room name will work for both the teacher and the student.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the app is working in backend in such a way that it is connecting the student and teachers with the name of the room.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, one student can answer a particular question in 2 times at that particular time.
No. After submitting, he cannot change the answer.
Actually, we can see that the answer is wrong or answer is correct. So is there any provision to correct the answer in second time?
No.
Okay,
After getting feedback, you cannot change it. But multiple answer can be done by it. Means in MCQ, you can put the question like having multiple answer.
No. Multiple answer means A or B or AB is correct. I don't asking that. I asking that at a time a student can answer a particular question in 2 times.
No. Actually, what Mr. Sarkar is saying, when you are submitting the answer, you are getting a ready feedback, isn't it? Whether it is wrong or right. When you got the feedback afterwards, you cannot change it.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Soman sir. I have a question. I am Vishwajit from Arambagh.
Okay, tell.
I want to know one thing, that is it possible for the students to attempt the test without downloading the app?
Right. Only just clicking, you have shared the link in your WhatsApp group and they will click the link and put the room name.
Okay. Thank you.
So that means they can access it by using the browser, only the browser.
Right.
Thank you.
And it can be in Bengali or any other version, any other script, you can use it. Means not only English, you can choose question in any
And is
different.
it possible to draw the structure? It will be a problem for the chemistry teachers, I think.
Right. Means
No,
for that purpose you have to put the image and then you have to purchase it.
yeah, actually that Mr. Sarkar already said, if you are trying to put any image or structure, then you have to purchase the full version.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, sir.
And I think using Google Keyboard, you can type in any language, whichever is available.
Google Keyboard, I will have to download it in my mobile or
Yes,
computer.
yes, you can use the mobile phone, or in case of computer, you can use the Unicode script, either by with the help of, you can do it with the help of Google Translator also, or the keyboard you are using. There are also lots of keyboard softwares available which are using Unicodes. With that keyboard, you can type in your own
Which one is
language.
easier to use, sir?
Yeah.
Which one is easier to use?
Actually, that depends. Someone likes Obro in case of Bengalis, and other language also. Someone will like the Google Translator. Whatever you feel convenient, you can use.
Okay.
Anirban, it's not Google Translator, it's Google Input Tools. So
okay. And actually, sir,
Indeed.
in previous days, our mentor was using the Google Translator also. Suppose by setting the language in Bengali and then typing it and then copying it from there.
So that is that is not translate, that is transliterate.
Indic keyboard, Google Indic keyboard.
Yeah,
Google
no,
Indic
no,
keyboard, right?
yeah, no. Actually, Plavan sir is saying some different thing. Google transcripts. He's
So if
saying
you
Google
type
transcript.
you go to Google search engine and type Google Input Tools, that will give you a link to an interface where you can select your language and type in English Roman script to get your uh, mm, coded string in your own language. For example, if you select Bengali, whatever you type in English Roman script, that will be translated or transliterated in Bengali, right? So if you say AMAR, it will be read as Amar, and you can do the same for Hindi as well. So that is transliterate, and that you can get from Google Input Tools.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. How many questions can be set at a particular quiz?
That's no limit, but number of student has limit. If you doesn't purchase, 50 student can enter in a room at a time.
And one question is one question was, which one is the largest ocean? Na? Then
here I am just not using. I am using just a basic example.
No. I asked that what their that particular spelling have to be written, or
right, particular spelling have to be written, otherwise computer will take it as a wrong answer. But case, it is not case sensitive, but spelling you have to write properly, or you can arrange.
Soman, it's also case sensitive. Teacher must put the same answer. Specific P capital letter. Your teacher put that P is capital. Student put P is small. It is not correct. Then teacher must put all possible answers.
Okay, that means
Okay.
I'm making it simpler for understanding. That means our mentors is trying to say, if you are a teacher and you know that student may use different kinds of spelling, or may use the capital letter or small letter or the capital first. So then in that case, you have to put the answer when you are making the quiz. You have to give the system the answer in all formats. Like, you have to give the system in capital letter also, your answer in capital letter, your answer in small letter, or the capital of first letter. And this way you can sensitize your system that if any of these types of answer is you get from your students, then show it as right, or else you will show it as wrong.
Right.
Anirbandha, I will
Yes.
show a screen. I will show a screen. This type of error.
Okay. So please share.
So actually, I will suggest not to use this short answer option, because
See here.
either it will be a burden to the teacher, or it will be a burden to the student, and in high likelihood that the student has provided a right answer, but that has been marked as a wrong answer.
Right.
Yes. You see
And
that
I
question
have a
number
related,
9.
Showman, I have a related question here. So, for example, you are using the short answer option. Now, I can see that the student has presented the right answer, but in a different way than what the teacher has written as the model answer. So, though the system is marking it as incorrect, is there any option as a teacher that I give feedback to the student that your answer is correct?
No, there is no
No,
option
sir. No,
there.
sir.
So in that case, I'd say this is a concern if you are using this short answer option, and will be in the favor of using it.
It should be
I
avoided.
want to, sir. I want to ask. Showman showed us that teacher can have an option like comment in somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
So in that comment, we may write the correct answer that I think that should be. And I think in that case, student can get the feedback, though the system is telling that the answer is wrong due to this kind of error, but student can get the proper feedback from that comment part if I put that comment on during the preparation of guiding question. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong.
In that case,
Yes.
it is as same as the teacher is marking himself or herself, or correcting the answer, or analyzing the answer himself or herself.
Yeah, I think that will create an ambiguity. So
Right. So
we should stick with the MCQ or
MCQ true false is fine, but I'll be not in the favor of using the short answer.
Right. It should be avoided.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, tell me.
Yes, as regards something you said about uh, multiple answers a teacher can provide, won't that sort it out? Won't that solve the problem? Did you say something like that? I mean, say about the question number 9, as you showed, the relationship between focal length and radius of curvature. The answer provided is r is equal to 2f. So can it be put in different versions like f equals to r by 2 or something?
Yes. You
Such
can
other.
put. You can put different
But
number of
teacher must put the multiple answer at the time of creating question.
Okay, you can put. You
so
can put different.
so in this
All
case,
possible answers are possible.
Okay. Yes, possible.
So in
that
this case,
can solve the problem, I think.
No, so in this case, I would like to welcome the comment from Dr. Bhomik, because Dr. Bhomik is working in that field, in particular that field. He's doing research in the field of machine learning. So I would like to welcome him to give some suggestions.
So to my view, you can, as Mr. Chandra has mentioned, that we can really enumerate all possible ways of writing the correct answer, right? Now that might be possible for a restrictive set of questions, but will not be really possible for all kinds of questions that will seek short answer. For example, this short answer may vary from one word to, say, a phrase, a sentence, or even 2 or 3 sentences, right? Now, if it is a phrase, somehow you can manage that. If it is a sentence, it's not really possible to write all possible variation of the answer, right? So that is point number 1. Point number 2 is, while as a teacher, when you are marking a short answer, you don't really care about the grammar of the answer, right? Now, the student can uh, ignore the grammar, or there would be grammatical inconsistency, but your answer, reference answer, as a teacher, you are writing it, it will be correct, or it will be appropriate in all sense, in grammatical sense, in every sense. Now, it is not really possible for a teacher to enumerate all possible variations, including these grammatical inconsistency, spelling inconsistency. So you need to do an approximate matching, and that approximate matching is done by computer programs that can analyze the student answer, which is written in a natural language, and it tries to find out the similarity between the model answer and the student provided answer. And based on the extent of similarity, a grade is assigned to the student answer. So what we do, we collect student answers that have been already marked by the teacher. Some grades or some points have been assigned to these answers, and we train the computer program on these already marked answers, right? Now, the computer program, while it is getting trained, it will try to see what are the features of the student answer, and maybe common to both student answer and the model answer, that will be indicative of good quality student answer, or bad quality or moderate quality student answer. And based on those features, the program will grade the student answer automatically. Now, we have worked on this to develop these kind of system. There are certain um, benchmark data that are available globally. We have tried to run our algorithm on those, and we have achieved around 70% uh, correlation with the grades that are assigned by the human experts. So you can take that to be the state of art of this automatic grading of the short answers. As you can see that, well, we can, with 70% correlation, you can use this for formative assessment, and maybe a second level of checking should be done by the teacher. But it is really way behind the uh, ideal scenario, which is 100% correlation. So I'll say we are not really in a state where we can say for sure that the grade or the analysis of the student answer that is done by the computer programs automatically would be taken blindfoldedly. So that is the state of the situation now. But again, as the new algorithms are coming up, I think the state of the system will be getting improved over the time. But for now, we are having around 70 to 80% accuracy in marking the student answer in the short answer domain.
So thank you, sir, for sharing these um, research that are going on right now. And as I know, you are the expert in this field, and you are doing also the same research. So Mr. Chandra is raising a hand again. So I think he has some question, and Anirban Gupta also raised hand. So I would like to welcome Anirban Gupta also, if he has anything to say.
Just I wish to ask that can the app be updated in a way such that it searches for the keywords in the short answers? Is that possible?
So actually, that will be a very naive way to deal with the problem. But a particular keyword can be represented by, or a particular, I not say keyword, a particular concept can be represented via different keywords. For example, that is the phenomenon of synonymy. So a particular meaning of the word can be represented by many word forms. Now, you can really try to find out what are the possible keywords that are representative of a particular concept. But again, your answer may not be restricted to only concepts. It might involve multiple concepts and most importantly, the relationship between the concepts. So what your problem is coming to be, you have to somehow map multiple representation of the same concept in the particular concept, and then you have to somehow see how these concepts are related in the student answer, and that relation is getting reflected also in the model answer or not. So the problem, well, at the surface level looks like to be finding out the keywords that are indicative of the concepts, but in reality, the problem has got layered complexity. So we have been able to solve the challenges to certain extent, but again, as I mentioned, the miles to go.
Yes, sir, I understand your point, but still it is in general a practice in certain boards at least, they assess based on the keywords only. Maybe it is not a good practice, but still it
Okay,
happens.
I'll give you an example.
Yes, sir.
There is a question and the model answer is, say, water is denser than oil, right? Now, the student has written the water is denser, sorry, the oil is denser than water, the reverse of the model answer. Now, by keyword match, you see, you have got the word denser, you have got the word oil, you have got the word water, all are matching, but you see the directionality of the relation, they are in the opposite direction. And as it is so, the student answer should be marked as incorrect, but your algorithm will say that is correct.
Yes, sir. I got your point.
So, you see, mapping the keywords to concept, again, that is a more or less a trivial problem, though there are complexities in that. But in order to find out a proper way of automated marking, you have to find out the inherent structure or semantic structure of the student answer and the model answer, and then match these semantic structures uh, 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 to judge its proper appropriateness to the model answer.
Yes, sir, I got it. And another question to Mr. Sarkar.
Okay,
hello. Yes,
okay,
yes. Yeah, as you were telling that multiple answers can be provided. So has it to be provided with separated by a comma or something like that, or a space?
Multiple answer means multiple
Like
options.
Yeah,
For
I
matching,
mean,
for matching.
yeah, suppose
there are
question number
different.
9.
Okay.
Suppose I wish to provide r is equal to 2f as well as f equals to r by 2. These two.
Okay, understand. There are different box. You have put one option in another one box and the different option in another box. You have increased the box. Understand?
So that means Mr. Sarkar is saying that you will get several number of boxes when you are putting the options. So in that case, you have to put different answer in the different box for the same option.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Anirban Gupta was raising hand. So Mr. Gupta, do you have any question? Please ask. We are not getting the voice of Mr. Gupta. Don't know. There may be some technical issues. So PB Samanta is raising hand. So please.
Sir, is there any provision to mark or score the students? We see that only percentage is there.
How many questions are there? How many questions they are correcting? And it has been shown, and marks is in the form of percentage is there. Whatever here it is seen, you cannot do anything more.
In terms of percentage, you are actually getting the scores. because you have the fixed number of question, and in case of multiple choice or anything, you are putting a particular marks for each question. That is a very equal marks for the each question, as it is not very much subjective, it is an objective type of question. So in that case, you are getting only two options, whether either it is right or wrong. So you are putting the fixed marks for the for each question. So the in terms of percentage, you are getting the actual scores of the students.
Okay, sir.
So if anyone have any other queries, you can ask. Or at the end, I would like to have some comment from the end of Professor Ghosh. So as we are having him here, so
পড়বি না মনে হয়
please put Rajesh Butterbell, please put your mic off. Please turn it off. Yeah. So Dr. Ghosh, can you hear me? Hello. Chinmay sir, can you hear me? We are not getting your voice. Chinmay sir, we are not getting your voice. I think he is struggling with network issues or anything. So if anyone have any other question, they can ask, or else I will go to end the session with due permissions of our mentors. So then I think we don't have any other question.
I could
Yeah.
listen to your voice. There was intermittent, time and again intermittent network errors. So I could not participate wholeheartedly today. This was the issue.
So we are now getting your voice, sir. So do you have any message to forward?
Not really. I mentioned in between that intermittently there were network errors, and it was there was so much of interruptions that I could not smoothly take part in the session today. That was my comment, but I got most of it. I got.
Okay, sir. Then you can have the YouTube videos later on if you want to go through. So thank you for being here. And again, I would like to say, okay, Rinku ma'am is raising hand.
Sir, I have a question to Plabun sir.
Yes,
Sir?
please tell me. Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, first day you told about us Swam channel. I opened the channel, but there I didn't find anything, any lecture video or anything. How can we get this? Is there any problem with the channel right now?
Are you talking about Swam or Swam Prabha?
Swam jo TV channel, Swam TV channel.
Achha, in the TV channel, have you got the link that I have shared with you?
Yes, sir.
So if you go to the link, there will be a drop down list. So if you click on this drop down, it will list down all the channels, right?
Sir, I clicked on swam.gov.in.
Okay, that is not Swam Prabha. Swam and Swam Prabha are two different things. Swam is the MOOC platform of India, right? And Swam Prabha is a set of 32 channels dedicated, each dedicated to one discipline, or it may be a one discipline, it may be a coordinator specific channel. And I have mentioned channel 19, 20, 21, and 22. They are dedicated to physics, chemistry, biology, and I think mathematics. And there are a few channels that are coordinated by NIAS, and that is also related to school education. So if you go to the Swam Prabha link, maybe I can share that in the WhatsApp group again. So if you click
Yes,
on
sir.
that, it will take you to the archive. So that will give you the archive of the programs that have already been that have already happened, and you will get the topic title, the date, and the YouTube link, right? So if you click on the YouTube link, that will take you to the corresponding lecture.
Okay, sir.
Study.
That means I will get from it from the Swam Prabha, and from
Right.
Swam, what can I get?
SIAM is a, as I mentioned, that is a MOOC platform where you can participate in a course, like you are attending a workshop here. So
Oh,
that
okay,
is
okay.
also a time bound course. Generally it is one course is floated around say July, and that will go up to say December, and again from say January to July. So it is done in a session wise way. Now, before the course starts, a particular course starts, it will ask people to enroll for it. So you can enroll for a course, and for enrollment, you don't need to pay anything. That is completely free. But there are options where you can earn certificate. In order to earn certificate, you have to register for it. There is a nominal fees you have to pay, and then at the end of the course there will be a proctored exam in which you have to appear, and there are certain quality criteria. If you meet that quality criteria, you will be awarded a certificate. So it is a kind of regular course that you attend in some place.
Okay, sir. That's why right now there is no such course. So there is nothing is shown there.
Actually, may these courses for this session will be over by May. But for the July session, I guess you will find
Oh,
some of the courses, and there will be floating courses for the
okay, sir.
July
Okay,
session.
sir. For getting the reminder of the course, I think I must have to register for the
Yeah,
sites.
so you
Then I
have to
can get the
look for the courses in the site. There you have to enroll. After you enroll, I think you will get a reminder when the course starts.
Okay, sir.
So before, I think before not getting in, when you are not getting enrolled in any course, you cannot get any reminder. So
No. How
uh,
can we get?
yeah, actually, I think Rinku Madam was saying that even if that how she can get a notification before starting the courses or floating the
Uh,
courses.
no, I
I don't
guess
think that I cannot
there
have.
is. I don't see there is option like that.
Yeah.
But you have to look for such courses in the website. And as I mentioned, the session one session is I think from January to May. The other is from say July to November, something like that.
Okay, sir.
So you have to make a regular visit or in frequent visit of the website.
And that is true for any other MOOC platforms. Like say, if you talk about Coursera, if you talk about edX, you have to visit their places, and then and in many cases, if you have registered in a platform like Coursera and others, they'll keep on sending you recommendations. But I am not aware whether SIAM will send you recommendations.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Blavan sir, for sharing the information. And before closing the session, I would like to remind again that tomorrow at 10 a.m. we will have the common valedictory session. So please be there and definitely be there. And with that request, I am going to close the session with all permissions of our mentors. So thank you again. Thank you very much. And I am now closing the session.
Thank you all.